Hey guys, so today I'm going to be taking you through a specific document located in the TCMPC called the Enhanced TEKS Clarification Document. So step one, you obviously need to log into your TCMPC. If you don't know how to log in or you have not already set up your account, please see the prior video that goes into accessing TCMPC. I'm just going to use my standard Algebra 1 as demo today because that's what I teach. But remember, all of this is the exact same no matter what content or what grade level you are teaching. So the TEKS clarification document is located right here on the right hand side. You can also find this within any of the units or under the resource tab, but this is the easiest way to access it. So the enhanced TEKS clarification document breaks down what the students are supposed to know, going beyond just the surface level of the TEKS wording. So for the example, I'm going to use 8.2a. The wording here is determine the domain and range of a linear function in mathematical problems, determine reasonable domain and range, values for real-world situations, both continuous and discrete, and represent domain and range using inequalities. So if you're a math teacher, you know what that means. However, if you come over to this right-hand side where it goes into depth, past the actual wording of the TEK, when I hear represent domain and range using inequalities, I'm thinking, okay, x can be any number greater than or equal to 2, and you write that like this. But if you look down here at the bottom, students need to be able to write the verbal description of the inequality. So they can't just write x is greater than or equal to 2. But they also need to know that x is all real numbers greater than or equal to 2, and they need to be able to write that out in words. Also, there are different types of inequality notations. If you scroll down, it shows you all different types of examples of continuous and discrete. I'm going to go down to another example. 8.5a, which is solve linear equations in one variable, including those for which the application of the distributive property is necessary and for which variables are included on both sides. So when we think about solving an equation, you think about, here's my equation right here. Okay, let me solve for x. But if you scroll down, notice you have concrete and pictorial models required in the TEKS, but it didn't say anything about needing concrete models or using concrete models in the TEKS wording in the beginning. But when you go to the clarification document, there is major use of concrete models and technology. So another useful thing you can find here in the TEKS clarification document is instructional guidance. So it offers you teacher-friendly language to support your lesson planning and daily instruction to make sure you are aligning your strategies with what the standard truly requires. It can also highlight frequent student misunderstandings. So right here it tells you different ways the students could have used algebra tiles to solve concrete or algebraically. It also has teacher notes down here. Look, notice this is giving you some vertical alignment context. So this helps you to differentiate or pre-teach based on whatever gaps your students may have or didn't receive in these grade levels. I also want to take a second to open a second subject just so that you can see that it is the exact same no matter what the grade level or subject is that you teach. So right here is the grade 8 science TEKS clarification document. I'm going to scroll down and pick the first TEK that I am slightly familiar with. So we can look at this one, 8.5e. Analyze and explain how energy flows and matter cycles through ecosystems and how energy and matter are conserved through a variety of systems. So notice the TEKS is 1 sentence long, but if you look here on the right, the analyze and explain is much longer. It gives you examples on what exactly it's wanting you to teach. And it also says this keyword right here, including but not limited to. So this means these are things you can include, but obviously you can include whatever you need to include that is best for your students. Another example is 8.5F, analyze and explain complementary relationships between structure and function of objects, organisms, and systems. So again, you can see different examples for structure, different example for functions, and then different examples for relationships for structure and function. So there are a lot of good things you can find in this document. It helps with your vertical alignment. It gives you good vocabulary. It tells you certain things that you should emphasize on when teaching. There are assessment question examples in here you can even pull. So all of these examples that it gives you on how to answer or how a student may answer, you can use those for your formative assessments. So that is my spill about what the TEKS clarification document is. All of that is summarized in the attached document in this course. So if you don't want to listen to the video again, you can refer back to the document. Also in the document, I put a section at the bottom on how to use and interpret the TEKS clarification document. So if you need me to go more into depth on how to interpret things and how it can align across different contents, not just Algebra 1, I highly recommend you look at that. So in that same part of the document, I have it sectioned out on how you can use this document during your lesson planning, during instruction, during assessment and feedback, and then also during collaboration within your POC. Your main takeaway from this video, I hope, can be that students are sometimes expected to know and do more than just what's on the surface level wording of the TEK. So please go through and read your TEKS clarification for every TEKS that you're teaching.